because you are a former athlete. So before we get into the veteran talk, let's talk about introduce yourself a little bit. Don't give it all away, and then we'll talk about your sports career and then what you're up to today.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Mike Boyd, and I'm a singer now, but I sing under the name of Mike Magic, Majik, Mike Magic Boyd. But you said former athlete. I'm sort of like the Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
So once an athlete, always an athlete.
Exactly.
But a little bit about me is, I was a number 2 draft pick of the Los Angeles Dodgers, number 7 draft pick of the Oakland A's. I played my baseball in Mississippi, where I was a 2-time state championship pitcher. And that, but I really wanted to hit, but that's a whole nother story. With that, and my dad owned the last of the Negro Leagues in Meridian, Mississippi, in the Mississippi area. And before he died, Satchel Paige mentored me and a couple of my brothers and stuff. And so I myself got to play a little bit in the barnstorming ends of the Negro Leagues. And so that's probably one of the most prideful things that I have in my life, that I actually got a chance to do that along with some of my brothers. So that's a little bit about the ball and a little bit about me.
Thank you again for sharing that. It's so important for people to know, just the relatedness, right? You're a singer today, but you've got this whole athletic career that you've accomplished, right? And what do you want to say about your era and your experience around baseball during that time frame? Because there was so much going on in society around, like you said, the Negro League and blacks in baseball and sports overall. In a positive state, what do you want to say you walked away from that career with?
I walked away from it with this, man: a character, integrity, pride, grace, and a proper application to life. What it taught me in playing with the Negro Leagues, and not only that, the other black ball players who didn't play in it that we grew up playing against. And I wish people could have seen them, man. You would have thought you were looking at the major leagues today, looking at these kids. But it taught us character. It taught us what caring was really about. The game taught us not only love for playing the game, but that respect that we needed to treat each other with, the respect that we were given to our mothers and fathers and the other kids were, when we'd say yes sir and no ma'am and how are you doing today. It taught us to when we got off the ball field, that we should help somebody, that we should be nice to somebody, that we shouldn't be prideful except in the way of we wanted to make people feel good with what we were doing. And so it turned me into the man that I am today, that till this day I still teach baseball. I've taught kids all the way into the pros.
Right.
And things like that. Even people may know one of the students I helped get to the pros, which was my brother, Oil Can Boyd, who pitched for the Boston Red Sox and also pitched for them in the '86 World Series.
Yeah.
So it taught us things like that. It taught us a sense of family, a sense of friendship, a sense of honor, and a sense of honoring our country, that gave us the opportunity to get out there and play this game and go someplace with it, And so I think basically, my friend, that's what it brought to my life.
Well, I'm going to ask you to elaborate on this other part of this conversation, because it also brought you some principles that you learned that you now teach to young baseball players. So let's talk about those principles, because a lot of people don't really understand that we all live by some type of principle. It might be a corrupted principle, but we all live by some kind of principle, some kind of belief system, some kind of ideology, some kind of philosophy, some kind of theology that we really don't pay attention to, but we're being used by that in our life. So what do you want to say about the principles that you've created that you are now teaching to the younger generation in baseball?
Well, the first thing that I teach a child, really, it's not even the child, my friend. It's everybody, and I think we all need to learn this. I am the creator of the 30 philosophies of baseball, not baseball. Baseball. Baseball is the universal teaching, sharing, and caring of knowledge placed properly. Not that we teach, but that we make sure that what we teach, that child learns and actually lives by what they have learned. Mm-hmm. It's not important that we learn. It's important that we do what it is that we've learned, if it's proper. So the first thing that I teach a child in baseball is the first philosophy of baseball. The first philosophy of baseball, y'all, is if it don't start right, it don't end right. And it teaches everybody in our society, in every way in our society, and that's not just on a baseball field, but the first thing you say to somebody, the first way that you act in front of people, the first way you act in front of our children, what you say to people, how you live, these things are the things that people recognize from the start. So when you're saying something, doing something, make sure that it's right, because you're going to be judged on that. And people will listen to that, and they'll try to carry it out. Right. And if that information is not proper, then you are teaching wrong. Right. And wrong is the problem with our society right now, is that we're living wrong in so many ways that we've taken the wrong to be right. Yeah. And so this is why the first philosophy of baseball, don't start right, don't end right, is the most important philosophy on this planet. And we all need to teach it to our children from the start, that whatever they do, start it right, because if you don't, it is all
people had a chance
wrong.
To hear some of those lyrics. Obviously, you have this love for our veteran community, so give me a little bit about that.
Well, how could I not? Forgive me. How could I not when there are people like yourself and so many others that have paid their dues, let's call it, for my life and the comfort of my life. And there are people like you, including my brothers and things, who are veterans of the Navy and cousins and all these things that are veterans. And we don't pay enough homage to the veteran, because there is so many of them out there that have laid their lives down for us, and the ones that haven't laid their lives down for us have laid their arms and legs and shoulders. And you see the commercials on TV where veterans' heads have been blown off and they're still moving forward, showing character and integrity. But the biggest thing they show more than anything is don't quit on life, because if you quit on life, life will quit on you. And so the things that I want people to know, and the reason that I work with the veterans, is because of the most important word that we can put forward for the veteran. And the people, like you said, the thank you from our mouths is great. It's a great thing. But right now, the veteran does not need thank you from your mouth as much as they need thank you from your good deeds. Yeah. And that means not only donating a few bucks out of our everyday lives that will buy an unnecessary candy bar or unnecessary teddy bear or I didn't hear you.
No, I'm laughing with you, like buying that unnecessary stuff.
Unnecessary stuff that we say we don't have enough money, we don't have enough this. Yes, we do. We're just not spending it proper. Yeah. And proper means get out there and put some money into helping these veterans. Find a veteran, befriend that veteran, help that veteran, say good things to that veteran, but at the same time, maybe we could scrap up a couple of bucks and try to help them pay a bill, try to help them pay a medical bill. Yes, thank you of words is beautiful, but thank you of deeds is even better. And right now, deeds are what are being looked for. Our veterans and soldiers are not fighting off of words. They're fighting with their physical bodies and their physical lives. Yes. And we as Americans, we as human beings, we are people who see life properly. See that the most important word and thing that we can do for a veteran is called gratitude. Yeah. Not attitude. Gratitude. Yeah. Thank you, veteran. Thank you, American veteran. No matter what race that veteran is, because we need to know that when we talk about these veterans, we're talking about every race in this country that is fighting for this country, and that they all deserve honor, and that we all don't look at the veteran as the color of that veteran or the gender of that veteran, but look at that veteran as a veteran, and look at the fact that we owe that veteran gratitude because we get to sleep in our beds at night safely. Yes. Our children get to sleep in their beds at night safely. We get to walk in our society safely. We're not talking about the stupidity that's out there. We're talking about the concept of what the veteran is fighting for. Yeah. And so I say it's time for gratitude. I think it's time for love and respect, caring and kindness. And I think that it is time for all of us. No, I don't think. I know that it is time for all Americans to stand up and physically do something good in this country and start to get a good feeling from doing good rather than a good feeling for doing bad. Yeah. We cannot push each other forward until we stop pushing each other backwards. We can't get people to stand on their feet if we are standing on them. So our American veterans have fought for our right to live decent lives, and we should reciprocate in that with gratitude of living the best life and trying to help the other Americans live the best life.
Sir,
that's simple as that.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, from the moment I met you at that event, we have been in communication, and so I appreciate you for just your words and your education and your background and the passion that you have for my brothers and sisters. Again, sometimes that thank you there's, like I said, so much more that we know that our brothers and sisters need, other than just some words. So, I appreciate your time. I'm sure you're going to be back here because we got a lot of work to do, and I appreciate you for accepting me and allowing me to be your partner in some of this veteran conversation, and even you taking on the sickle cell trait conversation with me, as my experience in re-educating the community and veterans about sickle cell trait. So again, thank you for your time, sir.
You got it, my friend, and I want to leave everybody with a little short message.
Go ahead.
It's been a long time coming. Oh, but I know that a change gon' come.
That's right.
Oh, yes, it will.
See, that's what be making them ladies going crazy. He know what he doing. He know what they doing, man. That's a cold player right there, man. I can't wait for this dude to
I wish I had some bars, though,
it's
for real.
It's a cold dude right here, man.
me. Thank you.
All my love to you guys, man. All I love to the people in our society. Hey, all we got to do if we want things better is to change our minds.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. That's what we after. Thank you for your time, sir. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too, man.
You too,
Thank you, sir. All right, this is the Farron Dozier Show right here on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. We're going to get into this public service announcement, and we have our next guest on the line ready to go. So just stay tuned. Check out this public service announcement if you're dealing with stress, anxiety, panic attacks. This is Calm Me Go. Shout us out. What's the count?
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show right here on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Today we're featuring the Sports Collective segment. Shouts out to Mike Boyd, for supporting veterans, my brothers and sisters. I spent 24 years, and I had a great career, but dealing with some things after discovering what my what's next is. Identity crisis. You know, some of us deal with identity crisis, and I believe athletes can relate to us, police officers can relate to us, firefighters. Some of these jobs that we have, our identity of who we are is in those uniforms, and sometimes, you know, when that transition happens, we got to figure out what's next. So, what's next now? Rob, what's up, man? You good?
Yeah, you know, you mentioned this identity crisis thing, and it's like you and this beard business. It's like, what's going on, man? How much longer we got with this?
No, this is the new look right here.
This the new look?
Yeah, I'm keeping it. Yeah, I'm keeping it.